Shalom, family. So, again, from the day I was sitting just watching with the Lord as this massive, massive river came down into full flood. Lots of things that day that the Lord showed me. Another one that I found quite hilarious was while I was sitting there watching this river come down in flood, I watched two hippopotamus get flooded down the river. And don't worry, they belong in the river, they'll be fine, they can breathe underwater, but they are big and they don't get pushed around. And they came sweeping down the river towards me, underneath the bridge, out the other side, and you could just hear as they got swept away against their will. They had no control of the situation. They would eventually be fine, but the point is, something as formidable as a hippopotamus, and they are formidable animals. If you live in Africa and if you've read up on the facts and the attacks by hippos and things like that, they are quite a huge creature. 5 centimeter thick skin, 3.5 meters long, that's 11.5 feet on average. They stand 1.5 meters tall, 5 feet. They weigh 3,200 kgs for the average hippopotamus, which is 3.5 tons. The females are roughly 30% smaller than the males, and they can run really fast. So that in itself is quite scary. That thing can take off out of the water and chase you down. You won't outrun him. And they're big, and they can range quite far too. So nothing really looks for trouble with a hippopotamus. And when they establish themselves in the area, they're established there. I'll never forget when I was younger and we were living in the Kruger Park, my dad took us to one side of a dam, and we walked through the bush and got to the dam's edge. The hippopotami were on the other side of the dam. They saw us, they started making their noises, they ran and hit the water and were charging towards us. Across the entire dam. This is the aggression they were showing because it's their territory. And we had to hightail it back to the vehicle and get out of there. You don't mess with a hippopotamus. There's been stories of vehicles in the Kruger National Park driving at night, driving a little bit too fast and having a head-on collision with a hippopotamus. The vehicle's written off. The hippopotamus shakes himself and keeps walking into the bush. He's fine. So this river's power, so amazing that it picks this creature up and just sweeps him away. In the same way, we have a lot of leaders on the worldwide stage that think we're so strong, we're so immovable, we're so rich and powerful, nothing's going to shift us. You'll get shifted. If you're not meant to be there for the final week setup, for that final stage, you will get swept along by that river, the same way that these hippopotami were swept past. Wah, 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 off they go. So anything can be moved away in the sweeping river of judgment that is coming. So just a fun analogy and story for you from Africa. Have an amazing day. Shalom.